In this lesson, we're going to continue in Blender working with architectural elements, creating our own architectural elements, and developing our architecture. So we created really simple building so far, and we also imported some references. So in the previous video, we saw how we can import from AutoCAD, how we can trace an image and convert from raster to vector graphics, and also how we can import from building information modeling tools or software, and how everything can be then turned into 3D models. So essentially, we started with some references, and then we proceed on our own here in Blender. And we also saw how we can use many different editing tools or polygonal modeling tools that we can find here in the software, and also in some of the add-ons that are available internally and externally in Blender. So you can see right here, I've made some changes, and we're gonna continue in this video to work on this project right here. We're gonna add more really interesting tools and features of Blender. So we will just continue on this project right here. We're gonna do some fixing, some adjusting. So for example, right here, we have an issue. Now in the previous video, we separated the pillar right here. So we can create pillars with the extrusion just as well as external walls. In this video, I'm also going to show you how to create internal walls like this, and how to add cuts, and how to create voids using cuts, and so how you can add windows and doors later. And to do this, we can actually use also the booleans, but we need to be really precise if you don't want oblique or strange lines and you want to keep everything straight, horizontal and vertical. You can also see here that I've created floor. So we can create floors using the CAD file that we have, just as well as we created the rest of the building. But also you can generate directly the floors right here by using the polygonal modeling. And you can see here I created some internal and external floors. Now, one thing you can do is not use one single color and use different and randomized colors to see everything just a little bit better than one single color. So if you go right here, you can see that right now I'm not using the object, which is kind of the standard. You have different ways you can visualize the various materials that you apply. But in this case, we can use random in this phase because we are not interested in materials or the standard or draft model, but we are starting to create some complex building with a lot of architectural elements. So using this visualization, we can distinguish clearly every single architectural element, and so this will help us to manage our scene a little bit better. Now we created these walls using the extrusion, and then we convert everything into mesh, and then we started to polymodeling this object. Now when we want to focus on an object, we can press the Shift H. So this is going to isolate. So basically it's going to hide everything that is not selected. And this is great when you want to focus on an object, and so we can see the issues on this object. There is still some fixing to do. And again, we need to add some internal walls like I did right here, but I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, the first thing that I can clearly see is that there is something wrong right here. So something is strange about this piece of geometry right here. Now, there is kind of a strange shadows, or if I zoom in, it's kind of looking awkward. Now, this is because the normals are not okay. Now, normals are how the face of the object is gonna be placed. So it has a back face and a front face. So each polygon needs to be adjusted in the same direction, otherwise you have these problems right here. So how we can fix this? You have many ways you can do this. So if I go to edit mode and select this face right here, which is strange in terms of shadowing, and I go to the edit, again we're going to use the mesh tools, and in this case let's go in the utility tools. So here you can see this command right here, which is flip normals. And this is going to flip the normal, and now you can see it's looking good. So make sure that everything is looking fine. Otherwise, you probably need to change the direction of the normal. This is probably because we separated things from the main model or whatever. So you need to make sure that everything is fine here with the normals. So also I can select all, and if we go here to mesh, we have a section here dedicated to normals. So you can see I can recalculate outside, or I can, this is a kind of automated calculation, or recalculate inside, so I can like turn everything and flip it one way or the other. And also I can flip right here, or I can set from phase, and I have other commands, but this is fine for now. Now the most important thing is that everything needs to look fine. If you have strange shadows, it's probably because you are using, if you right click here, you're using smooth. So make sure you do shade flat, and also because probably some normals are not correct. So I'll just show you how you can fix it. Now, if we want to go back and see everything, Alt H, and now we can see everything. So you can see I've also created a floor right here, but I want to hide this, otherwise I cannot see inside. So I'm going to press H to hide it. Now all these commands, you can find them in Object and go here to Show and Hide. Now another issue you may encounter is the flickering. So right now we don't have flickering, but sometimes it, yeah, there you go. So you can see this floor right here, if I orbit around, is kind of flickering. And this is a problem when two phases are perfectly placed, one overlapping the other, or when we have just a small space, a small distance between one and the other floor. But if we get closer right here, we cannot see any flickering. So it depends also on the view. So on this distance right here, we have flickering, but if I get closer, I don't have it. And this is because these are two separated phase. Now let me show you if I create one additional phase. So I'm gonna go to Add, Mesh, and Plane. So if I create a plane right here, and now I have my snap activated, so be careful with the snaps. Sometimes you want to turn them on, sometimes you want to turn them off. Now you can see that these two faces right now are in the exact same position. So when I move around, it's gonna flicker. And this is an issue that you can also see in the rendering, just like the smooth effect or the wrong normal direction. So this is something that needs to be fixed. Now, how can you fix this? Well, just move this plane just a little bit up, or you can also extrude it a little bit. Now, when we will create floors, we will start from a plane and then extrude it. So you can see that right now we don't have any flickering. But if I move really, really far, probably that could come up again. But you can see it's not coming up. So if you extrude enough, you won't have that problem. Now let's start to create something, but make sure that everything is consistent and doesn't have errors. Otherwise, you're gonna pay those errors during the rendering phase. Now let's create some internal walls. So you have many ways you can do this. So if you have the layer, as usual, you can just extrude and that's it. And then you need to figure out which of these are open and you need to close them. And we already saw how to do this in the previous video. Or you can just convert this into an editable poly and you can work on that. Or you can just go here and create, for example, using this add cube and using the snaps. So okay, I can use the cut and I can just push this up. Let me just do this again. So snap, and then go up and snap again to the top. And then we can also, of course, adjust this. But let's see some other technique. So let's say that I don't want to create different walls, but I want an entire model, just like I'm doing here, everything connected, internal and external walls. So I want to start from the external wall, like this one here, and then continue and merge everything together. So we need to cut. We need to have something that can be extruded right here. So